Uganda today confirmed our worst fears. They confirmed that the deal that the government has been touting together with their propagandists, beginning with Nati Professor David Ndii, they have been touting this, and then they glamorize it by calling it G to G, government to government. But essentially, we have not seen any correspondences coming from the other side. So these guys are just going, they purchase, like any other customer is doing, they purchase oil and then they come and resell at whatever price they want. So the problem is not on the other side. The problem is not with the oil prices, because we can see, you know, what the market price every month is. The problem is here. The problem is, and if you remember the letter which I showed you, which came from the Ministry of Energy, you look at it, was signed by, first of all, the Principal Secretary Mohamed Liban. And then you look at copy 2, Mr. Davis Chirchir. The less that we say about Chirchir, the better. Professor Njuguna Ndongo, we've been talking about him in Treasury. We've been talking about the IMF policies, the deliberate devaluation of the Kenya shillings, just to placate to IMF and World Bank, just because they are destroying the Kenyan economy on the behalf of the white man. We've been talking about Dr. Patrick Njoroge, a nightmare, a disaster when he was in Central Bank, and his successor Kamau Thuge, from bad to worse, a train wreck in motion. These are guys who have no clue. They don't have even the foggiest of ideas as to how to run the economy. These guys are operating on autopilot, and even if we were to remove them today, there is still another line of World Bank and IMF degenerates who are working in various departments in those two agencies, the Ministry of Finance, that is the Treasury, and Central Bank, because those are the departments that are of much interest to the white man, because the white man knows that by crippling these two agencies, these two government bodies, then he has a control, he has a chokehold. He can suppress us. He can turn us into an import economy. He can turn us into beggars overnight. Which is what is going to happen. The other person is who? Dr. Joe Sang. You can see Mrs. Rispa Simiu, EBS, Kenya Revenue Authority. These are people one day who will be jailed for crimes against humanity. Mr. John Gashora, Chairman, Kenya Bankers Association. Francis Jogu, Managing Director, Gulf Energy. We've been talking about Francis Jogu very much. Francis Jogu is also a partner of another guy called Rotich. They were single sourced for this deal. They are the ones who are manipulating and influencing the high fuel prices. And EPRA, Energy Petroleum Regulatory Authority, is headed by a guy, Ayamune Wanka there, who has a fake British accent. These guys are no longer executing their mandate as required by law. These guys are following what cartels are telling them. So we have literally, we have a state capture on steroids. We have, we had state capture during the Uhuru era, and now it has gone, it has multiplied tenfold. Now, did you see the letter that was written by the Ministry of Energy in Uganda? Uganda, they've confirmed our worst fears that this deal is the biggest scam in Kenyan history. So the letter says, you look at the red part which I've highlighted. In April 2023, the government of Kenya made changes to the petroleum products import system by replacing the open tender system with a government-to-government importation arrangement with the governments of UAE and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to manage some of the importation challenges that Kenya was facing. Despite the price competitive nature of the open tender system in Kenya and its relatively normal supplies, it exposed Uganda to occasional supply vulnerabilities where the Ugandan oil marketing companies were considered secondary wherever there were supply disruptions. These vulnerabilities posed additional challenges, resulting in Uganda receiving relatively costly products and ultimately impacting the retail pump prices. So Ugandans, your President YOWERI Museveni has said, I'm done with this nonsense. These are our neighbors. Yes, we've been working with them, we've been collaborating with them, but not at the expense of our people. But they can see, because you don't need to be a brain surgeon, you don't need to be a fake professor like Njuguna Ndongo to know that this is a flawed deal, this is a scam. And even if you have been appointed, you are in a position to tell the appointing authority that here you're doing wrong. These are the risks. This is where the country is heading. But no, you guys have said you allow whatever happens, so that at least you'll have collected, you'll have primitively accumulated your own money. You understand? That is Neanderthal thinking. That is backward thinking. That's why I'm telling you, boomers of this country, they have pea-sized brains. They only think about themselves. They don't think about the long-term implications and ramifications of their thoughtless actions. You understand? How do you go and sign a deal and you start manipulating and influencing prices in Mombasa? You understand? We used to have the petroleum refinery in Changamwe. They killed it, they sabotaged it so as to give such importers a preference. And the importers who are being given a preference is not just limited to oil. Everything, including we are destroying our farming so that we can allow people to import maize, to import wheat, to import rice. Importers are the ones who are influencing policy, and they are able to compromise our hapless MPs, MPs who don't think, they just rubber stamp everything that comes from the executive. You understand? So the problem ultimately is to you, the voters. And I told you, you start taking elections seriously. It's not a beauty contest. Beauty contests were the ones which were your parents and your stupid grandparents. They are the ones who used to go to elections. Hey, we are going to remove these ones. We like this one because of dimples. And we saw a recurrence of the same intellectual deficiency, mental malnourishment. We saw it in the last election where you guys are voting somebody because of dimples, because they're handsome. How stupid are you? You're supposed to be the young progressive people. But then you are there because you are guided by your sexual imperative, not logic or common sense. You like this guy, and because there's a sexual sensation inside you, you vote for them. You without even putting into focus the long-term implications of your misguided undertakings. You see, if we are going to be different from the boomers, we have to start acting like it. You see, I made a comment about Peter Salassi. I don't like the way he's trending for goofy stuff, and he's being platformed by the main media houses because he is fulfilling and he's validating an archetype. You know, the old bastards, they like seeing young guys fail so that they can always tell, we told you, don't elect young people. They are waiting for us to fumble. There are many young guys who have brains, who could be platformed, who could be trending, but no, you guys are more concerned about seeing somebody making himself look bad. And it's unfortunate, and you don't understand that your brand as young people is getting deflated in the process. As you are getting cheering on, you don't understand that this will be used against you. This will be weaponized against you one day. People will be standing somewhere and they'll be telling you, we can't elect young people because of this. And the old guys, they are dying. They are waiting for the opportunity to do that. You see, now in the Kikuyu sector, we have all these groupings. They're calling themselves Watadai and whatever. And I've been getting a lot of complaints because apparently old bastards have formed this group and they are misleading the young people. The young people, especially the ones with money. And you're finding now, I'm getting a lot of complaints that these guys no longer want to take care of their families. They want to divorce. They want to do what? Now, a guy who is a grandfather, because one of them is this guy who is called Kongo, Captain Kongo. He's related to Akina Uhuru. He was one of the first people to be appointed by President Ruto to head a state agency, a guy who is almost senile. I'm wondering what the hell? And now you guys, this guy is a grandfather. He has raised his children. Some are in diaspora, some are where, some he's living his best life, and then he's coming to tell you how to run your home. You see how stupid you are. Why you let home? How they used to run their homes when the economy was booming and was great. It's not how you can run your home today. Things are different. You're having to combine incomes with your wife to maintain, just to take your kids to school. Then the public school was free, public hospital was free. This guy inherited a lot of land. What is he doing? He's getting you. He could have started a football academy where now he's training and nurturing players, or whatever other academy, nurturing players, so that he has a history that he has been mentoring young people, but not mentoring and telling you what to do, how to run your homes, yet he has no other footprint as regards to mentorship. So young people, stop being misled into these funny groups. I'm getting a lot of complaints from the women, especially. They're saying that immediately the husbands get into those groups, it's almost like a personality overhaul. They are coming back as new people. Please don't be told how to run your homes by people who have already finished doing their job. They just want your money. They just want you to contribute, buy for them whatever to entertain them, and they can be, you can be running their errands like they are chokora. Chungeni.